start. If everyone can quickly just find a seat. Okay, so good morning everyone, and thank you for coming down to my blueprint information session. So it's about that time when we're selecting our courses for next year. So we'd like to talk to you a little bit about it. We've already started giving you guys information with your credit counseling summaries and the books we just handed out. But before we start, I just have a few housekeeping things that I need to talk to you about. Number one is, how many of you go to Friday prayers? Can I see a show of hands? Okay. So for everyone that goes to Friday prayers, I really need you to make sure you pick up a permission form from Student Services and you have your parents sign it if you go to the 1 o'clock Friday prayer, okay? We're trying to set a specific time for everyone to go, the first prayer, and we want to make sure we know who's going to be leaving and who's going to be coming back. So if you get the permission form signed, then I can let your teachers know, and then there's a list in the main office where you check off your name when you leave, and you check off your name when you come back, okay? So please make sure you have that permission form signed and you bring it back to Student Services so we can do that. If you've already done it, that's great, okay? But if you haven't, please make sure you go by Student Services and pick up that permission form. Okay, the other thing is, if anyone is signed up for night school, and this I'm speaking more to grade 10s, because grade 9s really can't sign up for night school at this point, but for grade 10s that have signed up for night school, please make sure you bring your permission forms in so that we can approve the night school courses, okay? And we can make sure you get it. All right. Now, I'm just going to wait a few minutes because I see that a few more people are trickling in. So let's get started. I think everyone's kind of filling in the seats. To start off, I'd like to get one of our wonderful teachers here to talk about a great program. This is Mr. Johnson. He's one of our teachers and counselors here at David and Mary Thomson, and he wants to talk to you guys about PASS.
Okay, thanks, Ms. Takis. This is for all the grade 10 students. So anyone who's in grade 10, when you're selecting your courses later this week, I just want to talk a little bit about PASS. PASS is our grade 11 leadership course. A lot of you guys in grade 9 already know about PASS because we've been visiting your classes every 2 weeks. Hopefully you've been enjoying our visits. But for me, PASS is a very special course at David and Mary Thomson. It's something I'm really passionate about. And for the grade 10s, I'm looking for some grade 10s who are really passionate about being leaders at the school, being role models at the school, and really helping our new grade 9s make Thomson their home, make Thomson a special place for them as well. And I'm hoping our grade 10s have some good feelings about their experiences with PASS. And you might be wondering, what kind of students are we looking for to be a PASS leader? To be a PASS leader, I'm looking for students who are role models, who are showing what it means to be a good student, a good member of the David and Mary Thomson community, and who are involved in the school. You don't have to be a super academic student, but you have to be a dedicated student. I'm looking for people that are at school on time every day, they're going to all their classes, they're involved in activities. You don't have to be the best public speaker. We're going to help you develop those skills. We're going to help you develop your leadership skills. But you've got to be someone who wants to give back to Thomson and who's able, and the key thing is be that role model to the grade 9. Show them what it means to be a Thomson student. So when you're thinking about your courses next year, if you want a fun course, an engaging course, a course that's going to challenge you, and I think give you a lot of skills that you can use later in life, later in your grade 11 and 12 careers, PASS is something to think about. It's GPP, that's the course code, GPP 301. So I'm hoping you think about it. If you have any questions about it, please ask me anytime. You can find me in guidance. You can find me first period in room 107. My name is Mr. Johnson. So think about past. And again, we're looking for people who are role models, who are passionate about Thomson, and who really want to give back a little bit to the school. Thanks.
Thank you, Mr. Johnson. Okay, so now I'd like to start to talk about choosing your courses for next year. So what do you need to know? Okay, so first of all, in your package that I gave you, it looks like this, okay? There's a pink sheet, okay? And that's the very first sheet you'll see kind of tucked into your booklet. This is your instruction sheet. Okay, so this will tell you how to go online, how to select your courses. It follows step-by-step instructions, and it's great to have. There's some important dates on it, okay? So make sure you keep this with you when you're going into your course selection, and that's going to be happening over the next few days. So Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and Monday we'll be in the course labs, and we'll be selecting courses. There will be a guidance counselor there with you, so don't worry. If you've never done it before, we'll definitely help you. But make sure you bring this as well, because it's important. It gives you like all the step-by-step instructions. Okay. The other things you need is what's called our option selection sheet. And in your booklet, you'll see that it's the yellow form right here. Okay, it's 2 pages. All right. This gives you a listing of all the courses we offer here at David and Mary Thomson. Where the book might give you a listing of all the courses that it offers throughout the board, this gives you the listings for our school. So you'll be following this quite carefully, and this will also tell you where you can find specific courses like PASS, any arts courses or music courses. So this is also one other thing that it's great to have, and you can start looking through, maybe tonight or tomorrow night, whenever you can, to see what courses you might be interested in, okay? Now make sure when you're looking at it, okay? For example, if you're looking at history, right beside it, you'll see there's, in brackets, a prerequisite. Now, prerequisite means you must have completed that course and passed that course before you can select this course, okay? So make sure as you're going through and you're choosing your courses that you already have the prerequisites, okay? That's very important, because otherwise we'd have to take you out of the courses if you don't have the prerequisites, okay? So it's very important to note that. Okay, your credit counseling summary. Now, you guys already have this, right? Now, I've had some worry over your marks that you're showing for your final first semester. They might not be final, okay? And they might not be showing down at the bottom where it says earned, okay? If it's in the F column, it means it's gone final, and it will show down at the bottom. But if it hasn't gone into the F column, right? That means it's not final yet. But you could tell for sure that you're getting the credit with making sure your mark is a passing mark of at least a 50, okay? So if you see your marks there and you see that you have a passing mark of a 50 and over, then you know for sure you got the credit. And it will show eventually down at the bottom where it says courses earned, okay? But just keep that in mind. It might not show yet, but it will show within the next couple weeks. Okay, so things to look about in your credit counseling summary. You have the electives column. You have the 34 credits. Now, this doesn't really apply to you, but the ministry has asked students in secondary that they can only go up to 34 credits. There is some exceptions, okay? And we'll talk about them a little bit later, but for now, nothing for you guys to worry about. Okay, there is the required and earned columns. Do you see that? So the required means is this is what you need to graduate, okay? So you need 4 English credits by the end of the 4 years to graduate. Okay? Now at the bottom, you'll see what's earned. Okay, so what have you done so far? So even if you've taken an English first semester, if it hasn't gone final, it won't show up in that column yet. Okay, it will show up in about a week or so, but it might not show up right now. As long as you have a 50%, at least a 50% and over, you're fine. Okay, it will show up eventually. But just so you know, that's kind of what the columns at the bottom mean. And then at the very end, you have what's called compulsory courses, which is your English, your math, your science. It kind of adds up the whole list of courses that they ask you for. Okay, that's under compulsory, and you need 18 compulsory courses before you can graduate. And then there's the electives. okay? Electives won't show up on that bottom row, okay? Electives are courses you'd like to take, and that could be anything, and they could be any grade, okay? So for grade 9s, you probably already have a couple of electives. If one of them is in art, it'll show up on the art, okay? If you're in grade 10, you probably have 3 electives, right? So the 3 electives will show up there. And again, if it's not gone final in the marks for first semester, it might not show up yet, but it will eventually. And you want to make sure you got 18 compulsory and 12 electives in order to graduate. Other things to look at, okay? So most important, where it says community hours. How many hours do we need to graduate? 40, good, okay? Please start doing them now, okay? Please start. Maybe consider in the summer or whenever we have breaks. If you have time, you need to be helping in the community. If you're not sure if it will count, because unfortunately I've had some students come down and they've been working in a retail store or something like that. Unfortunately, those don't count. It has to be actually helping out someone in the community. Okay? It could be tutoring, it could be helping with daycare as long as it's a family friend, not an immediate family member. Okay? It could be working at the library. Okay? It could be working in a senior citizens home. All those places are great for volunteer hours. And we have examples. If you're struggling and you don't know where to go to volunteer, please come down to guidance and we'll give you some information. There's lots of places in our community that are looking for help. Okay? And you know, I just got a call yesterday from Providence Healthcare, which is one of the hospitals at Warden and St. Clair, and they need help, right? So they're looking for volunteer students, and that would be a great opportunity, all right? So if you have any questions and you don't know where to volunteer, please come down to Student Services. Now, you don't need the 40 hours for grade 9 or 10. At least up until grade 12, you have to have completed all 40 hours. So you might start this year with 9 hours or 5 hours, but as long as you build it up and make sure that you complete it by grade 12. Okay, and the other thing is literacy tests. Now, for grade 9s, you don't have to worry about this yet. For grade 10s, it won't show up until you've actually done the literacy test, which will be in March, okay? So the grade 10 English literacy test will be in March, okay? And that will show up there. So it'll show whether or not you've successfully completed it. Okay, so that's the column there. All right. The other thing you have is your choices book, okay? It's a great resource. Okay, it tells, especially the glossy insert in the middle, and I'll talk a little bit about that. So if you look right in the middle, you'll see that there's a few glossy pages. Okay, it's called Choices Planning Guide. Right? It gives you some information that you guys might need, especially when it comes to selecting courses on my blueprint. Okay. So it talks about how to complete your online selection. It's all right there. And as I said, a guidance counselor will be in the room with you. So if you're not sure what to do, we'll be there and we'll answer your questions. We'll help you, okay? Make sure when you're selecting courses, you make sure you want to complete the diploma requirements. So those diploma requirements are at the bottom of your credit counseling summary, but they're also listed here. A lot of people don't know about the Group 1, Group 2, and Group 3, okay? It gives you a great explanation of them in the glossy insert, so I won't go through all of it, but it's right there. You don't have to complete it in your first year, as long as by your grade 12th year you complete all groups. You want to make sure you cover all groups, then you're good to go, okay? As well as all the other requirements. And here's just a general overview of all the required courses for each grade level. It doesn't include the group 1, 2, and 3, which is overall. It doesn't matter what grade it is. For some groups, they ask you for an upper level grade 11 science or something like that, but it's very specific in the glossy insert, so it tells you everything there. Okay, and make sure you ask questions, okay? Ask your teachers. Okay, you can come down to Student Services and ask us. We're also going to have some department carousels that I want to go through with. But before I do want to talk about the math dilemma. Okay, and that's also in your glossy insert. You can take a look at it in there as well. With the math dilemma, a lot of students are worried about, you know, if I'm in applied, can I move up to academic or anything like that. As you can see, okay, when it's workplace or essentials, okay, you'd have to go back to applied and then move up that way. In applied, you would have to take the mixed course, and if you want to move further into the academic courses in grade 11, you would have to take the grade 11 university course, okay? Now we would recommend if you're going to move up to academic, you should at least have a mark of 70%, okay? We don't want you thinking that, if you're going in with a 50, it would be very difficult to move into the academic stream, but if you're doing really well and you're working hard and you think you can, make sure you ask your teachers. Those are great indicators as to whether you would be a good fit for moving up to academic. But you can, okay? There is a pathway where you can go through the grade 11 mixed course, the grade 11 university, so it's an extra step, and then you can move into the grade 12 advanced functions and calculus, okay? Those are questions I get all the time, and I just wanted to explain a little bit. You can do it, but make sure your math marks are strong, okay? And it's always good to ask your math teacher, would it be a good idea for me to move up to academic, all right? So make sure you consider that. Other options. Okay, so I'm not going to go through co-op and dual credit too much because we have a co-op teacher here that will be talking about it briefly. I will just mention we do have what's called dual credits, and they're college credits that you could take with co-op. So you have to take them with co-op, and you can actually go and you can go to George Brown or Seneca or Centennial, and you can actually take a college credit. And whatever mark you get in that credit can be used as an elective here, as well as in the future, if you do decide to go to college, you can use it towards your college program, because it's considered what we call a general education course, okay? So I'm just putting it out there. If you're interested, you might want to consider co-op in grade 11, and Ms. Borda will talk to you briefly about it in a bit. But the dual credit program is also a great experience if you want to try out college. And we also have the specialist high skills major programs that we have here at Thomson. So if you're interested in anything to do with media, digital photography, graphic design, computer engineering, this might be a program for you, because we ask you to kind of specialize in the tech courses. Okay? And at the end, you actually get an extra stamp on your diploma saying you've received the specialist high skills major. It looks great on a resume, and it looks good for some post-secondary programs like universities and colleges where they ask for a supplementary application and you let them know that you're part of the specialist high skills major. It looks really good. And there's also one for health and wellness, so if you're interested in anything to do with working with people, it could be working with children, it could be working in hospitals or clinics or anything like that, the health and wellness program would be a great fit for you. And as I said, you would also get an extra stamp on your diploma saying you've completed it, okay? If you have any questions, you could always ask me. I'm Ms. Takis and I'm in Student Services. We can make an appointment, we can sit down. Over the next couple of weeks, we'll be very busy with my blueprint, but after the next couple of weeks, if you'd like to make an appointment to see me, I'd love to talk to you about it. Right. There are also going to be some session dates in March for co-op, so if you're interested in co-op, we'll make sure we announce it. So just keep an ear out. If you're interested, we'll have some information sessions, and if you select it in your course schedule. All right, 34 credits rule, as I said. You can only take up to 34 credits, but there is some exceptions, okay? So if you have an individualized education plan, there's exceptions, and if you have ESL, there's also some exceptions. We allow you to stay longer, of course, okay? So just keep that in mind. You want to start to plan out what your courses are. If you do need to take an extra semester, just make sure that you're exempted and you can go over the 34 credit limit. And we also have our AP program, which is our Advanced Placement Program, something for you guys to consider, all right? In 9, 10, and 11, we offer pre-advanced placement courses, okay? In English, in social sciences, in math, and sometimes in computer programming as well. So we offer these courses. If you're really interested, you would need at least about an 80% average. And we do have applications in Student Services where you need to fill them out and get them in to us, okay? You will need also teacher recommendations, okay? So if you do complete the Advanced Placement Grade 12 course, and you do actually a big exam at the end, if you do reasonably well, you could be exempted from your first year university courses. So it's a great program, all right? And it's really designed to help students kind of accelerate as well as learn what you need to be able to do really well in post-secondary. So if you're really great in a certain subject area like English or math or science, you might want to consider the advanced placement or pre-advanced placement courses, okay? As I said, advanced placement, really great. You receive special recognition. Okay, so when you're applying for post-secondary, it's great to put down that you're in advanced placement courses, and it really prepares you. Okay. So applications for advanced placements are due March 3rd. All right, so you might want to talk to your teachers, talk to your parents, pick up an application form from student services, okay? And you can also talk to your counselors there as well. So, important dates to consider. We're going to be doing my blueprint course selection from the 8th to the 15th. The 14th and 15th, we're going to have dates for students that weren't able to complete them during their class time. So if you missed your class for my blueprint, you can always attend one of those dates. You just need to ask your teacher or come down to student services. Okay. And we also, this year, we're doing department carousels. So we asked the departments to bring in a teacher in the library. So if you have any questions, either today or tomorrow, they'll be in the library, and you can actually ask them if this is the right pathway for me, what do I need, what are these courses about. So it's great for getting information about specific courses, okay? So today at lunch and tomorrow, we're gonna have a teacher in the library. Please make sure you drop in and ask some questions, okay? Especially if you're interested in, for example, the arts and you want to learn more about it, a teacher will be there to answer your questions. So please take advantage of that. Okay, and my blueprint selection, you're going to have to log in, okay? We'll be in the computer lab to help you out. If you're creating a new account, it's straightforward, okay? You just need to log in and create a new account by finding our school, all right? If you forgot your password, you can put in your email and just say forgot password, and they'll send you, a new password, or they'll reset your password. So make sure you follow the steps. When you're selecting courses, if you'd like to select co-op, please fill out either the afternoon portion, because co-op counts as 2 credits. So fill out the afternoon portion of your schedule. If you wanted to do 4 credit co-op, you would cover the whole thing, okay? So it would be 4 credit co-op would cover your whole schedule. At the bottom, we ask you to put in a couple of electives or alternatives, okay? We try our best to make sure you get the required courses you need, but we were not 100% sure we can give you the electives, okay? So we want to make sure if you could select a couple of extra alternatives, that would help us when we're scheduling, that if we don't get the course that you need, we'll try to give you another course that you're interested in, okay? And if you're interested in the dual credit, or the specialist high schools major, please also note it under alternative programs, okay, at the very bottom, okay? Because their programs are not courses. If you put it there, then we'll be able to call you down and talk to you a little bit more about it, okay? And when you submit, I know a lot of you guys have done this before, just make sure all of the green check marks are there. If there's any red X's, it means that you might not have a prerequisite for a specific course, okay? So you want to make sure all the green check marks are there and that you print it off and you sign it. And you want to bring it to us right after Family Day, okay? You could bring it to your home form teacher. They're going to be collecting them, okay? Or you can also bring it down to student services. Okay, and that's all for course selection. I'm going to pass it on to our cooperative education teacher. She's right here, and she'd like to talk to you about 2 credit and 4 credit co-op.
morning. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Ms. Borda, and I'm really here to market the 4-credit co-op program here at Thomson. For those of you who are in Chisholm, you will be enrolled in the 2-credit co-op automatically. You can find the 4-credit co-op, as Ms. Takas said, on the My Blueprint form. Okay, so why is the co-op program for everyone? So I've listed a couple of reasons. So first of all, you can take co-op when you're in grade 11 or grade 12. You are going to be gaining any career-based skills that you absolutely cannot get in the classroom. So this is a chance for you to get extra than what you're getting here in the classroom. You're earning 4 credits as well as getting free training and work experience before you actually leave school. And I think one of the most appealing things is you are gaining something where you're going to be edging out your competition. So whether you're going to college or university or directly into the workplace or into an apprenticeship, if you have co-op on an application or a resume, you are edging out your competition. Whoever is looking at your application or your resume is going to see that you actually have more experience than other people who haven't taken co-op or applying for the same thing as you. So it's a great leg up. Another reason to take co-op is you can test drive your future career. So maybe in grade 9 and 10 you have some ideas about what you'd like to do once you leave Thomson after grade 12. And you decide to take co-op and you get into a great co-op position and you enjoy yourself and you learn a lot, but you also realize that this might not be the career you thought you wanted to get into when you were in grade 9 and grade 10. So it's a great way to get experience in what you really want to do, but also to gain some experience and possibly realize that you've changed your mind in terms of your career path. And a few other reasons why co-op is great. You can make connections with employers and get reference letters. So at the end of your co-op course, if you have done well, your supervisors and employers will give you reference letters. And also you are in a position to possibly secure a part-time or a full-time job when you're finished with that as well. Okay, placements are in all career areas, so I just sort of typed up what I could fit on the slide. But if there is a placement that you want, we do try to secure it for you. So whether it is in sciences, technology, culinary arts, business like sales, marketing, finance, accounting, social work, dentistry, pharmacy, carpentry. I mean, I just listed what students are currently enrolled in now, but there are other areas as well. So lots to consider there. And again, how do I sign up for 4-credit co-op? In my blueprint, the code is there. It's the number 4 with COOP right after it. If you have any further questions about 4-credit co-op, you can ask myself, and my office is in the library, or you can ask any one of your guidance counselors. Thanks.
Guys, I just wanted to say that I want you to consider co-op especially because it's such a great program, and a lot of people have gone into apprenticeships with 4-credit co-op. So what an apprenticeship is once you graduate, you can actually apply to the government for an apprenticeship and you can go right into work. And the government, because they need a lot of tradespeople, so people in the plumbing, electrical, HVAC, even daycare, okay? Although it's not considered a trade, lots of different areas for an apprenticeship, okay? They'd be willing to pay for 80% of your college tuition for an apprenticeship. Okay? So if you're interested in anything like that, please consider 4-credit co-op. It really is a great way to make a connection, and if they're willing to hire you after you graduate, you move it into an apprenticeship. Okay? It's awesome. And everyone that comes back to me and talks to me about their apprenticeship, they're always like, Miss, I'm working, and I'm getting so much money, and I'm going to start college next year, and I don't have to pay for a lot of my tuition. Right? Great opportunity. So make sure you consider 4-credit co-op. And you want to do it in grade 11. It's a great opportunity to get started because you make connections that way. All right, so just to kind of go back, I just want to highlight one more thing before you guys go. To make sure you do your research, let's do this here. Got it. No, probably not this. I was looking for the carousels. I just want to make sure you guys remember that with the carousels, we're going to have dates in the library for today and tomorrow. Sorry guys, just looking for my I'm not finding it. Okay. Oh, here it is. Thank you. Okay, so if you're interested in any of these courses, okay, so the carousels for the teachers will be today and tomorrow. Okay. Today there will be art, business, Canada and world studies, English, languages, and modern. So if you're interested in any of those subjects, please drop in the library, ask your questions. Teachers will be there to answer them, right? And it's a great way to plan out what you want to take next year. Okay. If you're interested in math, phys ed, social science, and technology, tomorrow the teachers will be in the library at lunch, and you can ask your questions there, okay? So, thank you so much for being attentive. I'm gonna give you time to go back to your class and look through your credit counseling summary, maybe start planning your course selection, and we'll see you guys starting tomorrow in the computer labs. Thank you guys. You guys have been a great audience. Thank you.
I felt when you pushed me yesterday to someone. Who was it? Ahmed. Oh my gosh, you can do it. Keep your balance. Come on. Do people not know how to exit? Shit. Go up, gun my ass. That's what I'm saying. So gun my ass. Hang on.
Yo, Thomson. You think I can get in trouble for doing that?
No, at least you're showing up.
Is lost. Come on. Blue Yeti? Blue Yeti? You don't have a blue Yeti. Wow. I'm so bad at that.
Oh,
annual semi-formal is taking place March 3rd this year at Parkview Manor. This year, the SAC will be hosting an Oscar-themed semi-formal. Tickets will be sold for $40 this year starting Monday in front foyer. Tickets are limited, so buyers ASAP. You could also bring a friend from another school, but they must fill out a form and return it to the office. Come on, Thomson, buy tickets ASAP. From prefects, if you have signed up to be in the prefect's multicultural assembly, or you would like to perform a cultural dance, song, or even an act, come to room 105 to sign up. We are open throughout the whole week, so once again, if you want to perform in the multicultural assembly, come to room 105 and sign up. Thank you. From the ski trip, worried you missed the ski trip meeting yesterday? Worry no more. Ski trip permission forms are available outside of room 151. The trip is on February 23rd, and space is filling up fast, so get your money and form in soon. Questions? Ask Mr. Johnson or Mr. Masuki. From badminton trial is where the girls gym at lunch today. For math, students interested in writing Pascal, Kiwi, or Fermat math contests should come to room 241 at the beginning of lunch to sign up. Contests will be put in on February 28th. From the ESOL department, are you new to Canada? Are you looking for somewhere friendly to learn about school, life, and have some fun? Join our lunch and learn every Tuesdays in room 251. Everyone is welcome and great today. Everyone welcome is eating great today. From Future Aces, just a reminder that there will be a Future Aces meeting tomorrow at the beginning of lunch. New members are welcome. From Girls Rugby, all girls interested in playing rugby this spring are reminded that there will be a mandatory meeting tomorrow at lunch in room 153. Please be on time. From yearbooks will be on sale in the front foyer February the 9th to the 16th. It's our sweetheart sale, only $25. Get one today before the price goes up. Yearbooks are $25, so get your yearbooks. From the senior concert band, grade 9s, did you play an instrument in your elementary school? Are you someone with very little music experience but wish to play an instrument in our school's largest performing ensemble? Do you like to play music for pop culture, films, video games, and conversate about what music we perform? Then think about becoming a member of Thomson's performing concert band. We will welcome any Thomson student, regardless of grade or ability, to join us on Mondays and Wednesdays from 3:20 to 5 p.m. for our weekly rehearsals in room 133. If you have any questions, come by room 133. We hope to see you in the music department. Our first startup rehearsal will be today at 3:20 p.m. in the music room. From Vocal Ensemble, are you someone who enjoys singing? Then come to Thomson's Vocal Ensemble rehearsal today at 3:30 p.m. in room 133. We sing popular favorites and sing together as a group to perform at events. From Boys Rugby, attention all potential rugby players. There will be a meeting at the beginning of lunch on Thursday in the boys' gym for both junior and senior boys. Those are all your morning announcements. Just remember today is Tuesday, February 7th. Have a great day.
So that worked actually pretty well.
Yeah, it did.
Yeah.
I
Well,
have to get the hang of the president.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I mean the streaming.
Oh, streaming works.
I watched the whole thing with
Oh, really? What's talking about that? You know, that when I presented that you changed your that you heard. Because you know, kind of like so many things. You sure has. Did I get all the information okay? Yeah.
yeah, I'm not getting to it again.